Okay, hello again. In this short video, I'd like to just point out some of the things that are in the syllabus. The syllabus has already been posted to Blackboard in the section called Syllabus Calendar, and I urge all of you to go and look at this. There's no need to memorize it or to agonize over it in great detail. It's way longer than I would like it to be, but there are many things that we are required to put into the syllabus now so that it's kind of difficult to shorten it. But it is a good roadmap to show you where we'll be going in the semester and about how I look at the course, what I expect from you in the course, and how we are going to deal with things going forward. The course is criminal law. In it, we'll be doing two different things. One is we'll be talking about the basic definitions and structures of crimes. What constitutes murder? What constitutes sexual assault? What constitutes battery or robbery? So that hopefully by the time you leave here, you'll have a very clear understanding and have it down in memory as to what are the elements or the component parts of each of these basic crimes. And then particularly at the beginning of the semester, we're going to spend some time just studying basic concepts about criminal law. How does it work? What are some of the procedures? What are some of the ideas behind the whole structure of the system that we have today? These things will be useful for you going forward if you're looking for any kind of career in law enforcement, if you are looking to become a paralegal and hope to work at a law firm that handles criminal cases. This will be helpful. And hopefully some of you are planning on going on to law school at some point in time. And what we're going to talk about here will again give you kind of a basic background as to what's happening in criminal law and give you some of the basic ideas and things that you need to know. The course is a distant learning course, which means that we will not have scheduled meetings, that everything will be done online, and that all contact with me will be either virtually through videos like this, through conferences that we set up through Blackboard, or through phone calls and emails. There is a definite schedule as to what has to happen as we go through the course, what we're going to cover, and what assignments are due. And as part of this, I'll break down a little bit of that. But again, the roadmap for all of this is the syllabus, and answers to most of the questions you have will probably be in there. Now, having said that there are no set meetings, I will be starting with tonight, because I'm filming this on September 7th, a Thursday, I will have voluntary meetings using the Respondus program on Blackboard, which is kind of Blackboard's version of Zoom. These meetings will always be voluntary, and there'll just be a time where I can get to see you guys, meet you guys, talk to you, and particularly where you can ask questions, so that if there's something that you read the syllabus, you look at an assignment, you don't really know what's happening or how we're going to do it, how you're going to do it, that you can use this time to, in an open forum, ask the question. The other thing that I have done is I've set up a discussion board, and I have left it open so that you are free to pose questions. You open up a forum box, ask a question, and I encourage other students to answer the question, and I will get back to you and answer the question. On top of that, you can always reach me by email. Again, on the first page of the syllabus, I've given you two emails. One is my business email. The other is my CCRI email. Feel free whenever you need to email me with your questions or concerns, and I will get back to you. It may take me a bit of time to get back to you, but I promise within 48 hours I will answer you. I do not tend to read my emails on weekends, on Saturdays and Sundays, so if 2 o'clock on a Saturday morning you have a question, you may not hear from me until 7 or 8 o'clock Monday morning, but I will get back to you. I have also given you phone numbers where you can reach me if you need to, but I urge you to try and use the email system or the question and answer setup on Blackboard before calling me on the phone. The reality is very much of the day I'm not at my phone, so that's not always the quickest way to get to me anyways. I do keep my email open. It's on my cell phone. It's with me all the time, so I tend to respond to emails more quickly than I do to phone calls. Now, getting into some of the details of the course. There will be a number of assignments. Every week, I will post what I call a short assignment for that week, which has to do with the materials that we are covering that week. There is a textbook for this course. I've given you all the details in the syllabus as to what the textbook is. It is available through the bookstore, and it's also available through Amazon to download electronically. You can either purchase it or you can rent it at a very reasonable rate and the rental would run for the period of the semester. So there are a number of ways you can get access to the textbook. I will be following the order of the textbook and the format of the textbook for the semester, and basically there will be reading assignments from it every week. The weekly assignments will be several short questions that I expect you to answer in essay form. I will post the assignments on Blackboard. I would expect that you would upload your answers to Blackboard. I would appreciate if you could try to upload them in a PDF or a Word format. It just makes it easier for me. I know in the past some people have typed the answers directly into the Blackboard setup, which makes it a little bit more difficult for me. I do tend to still print up the results of your assignments and correct them on paper rather than on the computer. And it's just a little bit easier for me to print things if you can get it to me in a PDF or in a Word document. There have been times in the past where, depending what system people are using on their home computers, they've had difficulty posting things to the Blackboard quiz or answer program. And in those cases, I urge you, find a way to email the document to me at one of my emails, either the CCRI email or my work email. And 99.9% of the time, even if folks can't somehow get their assignments posted on the Blackboard program, they're able to get it to me through the email setup. There are deadlines for each of the assignments. I do not drop any assignments, so everything that we're talking about today is required through the semester, and there will be penalties. There'll be a certain portion of points taken off if you are late handing an assignment without a justifiable cause. If you know you're going to be late on an assignment because of something going on in your life, please just email and let me know. And certainly if there are medical issues, other life issues, I try to be tolerant of those, and we'll work with you to make sure that we get the work done and that you're not severely penalized for something that is out of your control. So there will be 12 of these weekly assignments. In addition to the weekly assignments, there are 5 cases that I want you to brief. I've already posted 2 of the cases to Blackboard for you to review. And I would urge you, in the section on Blackboard called Briefing a Case, look at not only the cases themselves, but I've given you a 1-page kind of format as to how to set up a brief, and I've also posted 2 sample briefs that were taken from briefs that students have done in the past. I urge you to please use the format of breaking the brief down into the different sections. One at the beginning lists the name and the case number and the dates, lists who's involved, lists the facts, the decision, the reasoning, whether there's a dissent or not, and break them into separate sections. The whole point of doing a brief is that either you as a lawyer are doing research and you're taking notes on a case, or more likely you're a paralegal of some type and you're doing research for one of your attorneys, and he or she wants you to summarize cases. We tend to use a standardized format, which is that breakdown into different paragraphs, different sections in the brief. In the past, one of the greatest issues I've had with students is they kind of write the brief as a mini narrative in just regular paragraph form without any breakdown. And again, when I'm looking at that as a lawyer, I'm saying, well, I might as well read the whole case. What have you done here for me? So try and follow that format. If you're not sure that you're doing the format correctly or not, try and get the brief into me a couple of days early with just a note saying, Instructor Walsh, please look at this for me, and I'll critique it and get it back to you and let you have the chance to modify it and bring it up to what I'm looking for. In addition to the weekly assignments and the briefs, there will be 4 quizzes and a final exam. I have already posted the calendar. The dates for all these items are listed. Sometimes they will be subject to change depending on what's going on with the semester, where we get to with information, how things are going. But if there are any changes to the calendar, I will post them and I will let you know. My basic way of communicating with you will be through emails, which I will set up as announcements on the Blackboard system and then send them out to all of you. Certainly, if something personal comes up, I will send you back a personal email, but generally for class situations, I'll be using the Blackboard system. So you'll get an email, and if you lose the email or somehow it disappears from your system, there will always be an announcement form on Blackboard saying what the email was. It says in the syllabus, and it's part of the college rules for online classes, that it is up to you. It's your duty to check your email at least every couple of days to see what's going on, to keep up with the course. It is your duty to make contact with me. I am not going to chase you folks. If you start disappearing during the semester, I may send you an email just saying what's up. But beyond that, it is up to you to keep up with work and to make sure that you're in regular contact with me so that I know you're doing the work and I know that you're progressing in the course. Now, having said that, one other thing I want to speak to you about, which for most of you I think has already been resolved. There is something called a verification of enrollment that is required by the college. You must contact me some way within the first 2 weeks of the semester, or I have to report you as non-attending. If I report you as non-attending, then you will be stricken from the roster, you'll be removed from the class, and you will have to go through the whole registration process to get back in. This possibly could have some effect on financial aid or on veterans benefits if you're using those to pay for your books or your tuition. And therefore, I urge you to please make contact. Now, most of you, out of the 20 of you in the class, I believe when I checked this morning, 17 of you had already opened up Blackboard and looked at different things. And Blackboard is a wonderful spy system for us instructors and professors. It lets us know how often and when you have made contact with the system. So for 17 of you, you've already opened up Blackboard to see what's going on, and that constitutes sufficient contact that you don't have to worry. So there's still 2 or 3 of you left that need to contact me before the end of the second week of class to make sure that I don't have to put you on the non-attending list. The syllabus has a lot of information about how to behave. And since we're not in an in-classroom situation, it's probably not going to be as big an issue as it could be. However, there will be times when we'll be having online live sessions, and certainly in terms of the comment board, people will be able to make comments and to ask questions. I urge everyone to be polite, to be gracious, to realize that we are a very diverse student body and teaching staff, and that just be sensitive to make sure that what you're saying, what you're posting, the manner you're doing it, will try not to be upsetting to other folks, and certainly do not deliberately attempt to upset other folks in the process. Now, again, there are times when people are going to take offense at something that 99% of the people find innocuous or not offensive at all, and for those situations, I will try to act as mediator and I urge people not to be super sensitive about things. However, at the same time, we do need to treat each other graciously and with some politeness. In addition to all the rules and regulations I copied from the handbook that we have to put in about etiquette online in the classroom, I also have a basic rule, and it comes out of my legal background. There are 2 types of situations in the law, and if you're involved in debating or formalized discussion type things, you would learn this also. There are situations that are called in rem. Rem is a Latin word that means the thing. And in law, we've come to use that to mean the issue, the topic. But then it's also in personam, and that's a Latin word that means person or personal. I want all of our discussions to be in rem. I want them to be about the issue. I want them to be about the thing we're talking about. I don't want them to break down into personal vendettas. And the example of that is it's okay to say, student so-and-so posted this mock about murder, and I respectfully disagree with that. I think a better way to state that would be XYZ, as opposed to coming out and saying, well, the remark by student X was stupid, and I think how crazy could they be to even put that on a thing? The first example there is in REM. It's talking about the issue. Even saying you're disagreeing with somebody, you're still keeping it about the issue. You're not keeping about them or their intelligence or their personality. In the second situation, you're deliberately starting off your argument by attacking the other individual. I will not put up with that. I remove the right to remove items from the discussion board if they venture in that direction. And certainly if I feel you're doing something that way, you're going to get an email from me saying, please calm down, back off, do not attack or come after the other person, but stick to the subject matter that we are covering here. There are a number of student resources. There are accommodations, and there are different things to help you with your writing, to help you with your scheduling, to just help you generally. I've listed different contact points in the syllabus, and certainly if you go to the college website, you'll find those things. Please avail yourself of any of those items if you feel you need them. These folks are here to help you. Your tuition pays for them. This is part of the services that the school provides. And college can be very overwhelming, particularly as I know many of you are probably part-time students. You are working full-time or more. You are trying to raise families. You're trying to keep your life together, and you are nobly trying to study at the same time. And sometimes it gets difficult. It gets overwhelming. Don't just sit there and give up. Talk to me, contact me if you feel the work's overwhelming, you're having issues with things. If you're having other issues going on in your life, feel free to take advantage of the services that the college provides. Okay, I keep looking down because I'm looking at the syllabus to make sure I don't miss anything that I wanted to speak to you about. All of the work that I am going to post for you is my own work. It is my copyright. You are free to use it yourself. You are free to make copies of it for yourself to use for the course or to even keep in the future. Please, I do not want to see any of it posted anywhere online. It is mine, and I will hunt you down and find out if you are using my work product without attributing it to me. I will be posting, the college just came out with some guidelines about using artificial intelligence or other computer-generated writings and reports. It came out after I had posted the initial syllabus, but I will post the addition to that within the next couple of days. I want you to realize that you are free to use any process that you want. I would hope you don't use AI to write the answers to your questions or your quizzes, but if you do, that's your loss, not mine. I want you to feel free to go online, to Google, to go beyond the materials I give you. One of the realities about the law today, and about many professions, I think, is that the law is very extensive, it's very involved and complicated. No one attorney can claim that he or she knows everything and has all the answers in their head at any time. Trust me, it's a lifelong process of having to go to other materials to continue to look up things, to see what changes are, to see what developments are. And as part of that, I want you to feel free, again, to use resources even outside of the classroom materials. And there are a multitude of things available to you folks online. So feel free to use that. If you are quoting something in anything written that you give to me, I would ask that you give attribution. You at least tell me where you found that, what you are quoting from. That is just being responsible and respectful to the people who wrote that. And it also helps me as a professor to understand. In the past, I have gotten some essays written by people supposedly, and knowing from their work product and particularly in classroom situations, knowing their speech patterns and their ability to use legal terms in that, they're handing me writings that I wonder how in God's name did this person even ever write this. It is helpful if you need to quote something, quote it and let me know that you quoted it. That's fine. But don't pretend that it's yours and hand it in to me. I posted a thing that the college has online about distance learning and called Some of the Myths of Distance Learning. And I'd just like to go over those for a second while I have you here. Myth number one, that distance learning is somehow easier than classroom work. It is not. You are still responsible for the same amount of work. Sometimes it might be a little bit more difficult because you don't have to see me every week for me to act as cheerleader, as the person prodding you to go along, keep up with this, do this, get it done. You really have to be self-motivated, and you have to be self-regulating of your time and spending the proper time. I can do work whenever I'm ready. The nice thing about distance learning is you can read the book at any time. You can do your quizzes and you can do your assignments at any time. I will be posting a number of online lectures during the semester. You can look at those at any time. However, the due dates for assignments are the due dates for assignments. And while I will not throw an assignment out completely because it's late, there will be a reduction in the credit that you get for that assignment for each day that is late. So you need to be aware of that. And yes, you can write out the answers to your weekly assignment at 4 o'clock in the morning. However, it has to be turned in on time. Third thing, there is no one to talk to if I have a problem. That is absolutely positively not true. I've given you my phone numbers, my emails. We will be having live sessions where you can speak with me. Please feel free to use me as a resource if you're having issues, if you're having problems, if you just have a comment. I don't do everything 100% the best way it can be done. I can, even after all my years of teaching and practicing law, I can use improvement. I can use suggestions. So feel free to reach out to me. I would urge people to use the comment board to ask questions, to let other students answer them, and to maybe even to get into some kind of online back and forth with different students so that, again, you don't feel out there all alone. Like, oh my God, what am I doing here at 2 o'clock in the morning trying to figure this out? And there are the resources of the college that you can turn to for various things. So do not feel like you're just stuck out there somewhere in limbo and we have minimal contact with you. That the course will be a solitary experiment is the fourth myth. That really depends on you. I mean, there are some of you who are not going to be interested in going to the online sessions. You're not going to be interested in the discussion board. You'll do the readings, you'll do the assignments, you'll hand them in, you'll get a grade, and that's maybe all the contact that you have. But again, between the discussion board and the open sessions through the Zoom setup on Blackboard, I want to create a situation where you have a sense that, yes, this is a class, there are other people working and struggling with this with me, that the professor is listening to me and understands my issues and what's happening. So that is open to you. It's up to you how much you want to avail yourself of that, or if you don't want to at all. It will not affect your grade, how much personal contact you have with me or don't have with me, but having gone through 7 years of higher education, trust me, I know it does help to be able to talk to other people, to be able to bounce things off of other folks, and to just sometimes get a sense of, I'm not crazy, I'm not stupid for doing this, this will work out, this is okay. All right, I think that's all I have to say about the syllabus at this point. I hope that this has been helpful. Again, I look forward to meeting you in a semi-personal way through the Zoom program, the different meetups that we're going to have. And I hope that you have a happy and productive and successful semester.